Hello there, C-Note here, and welcome back to DOPEamine. I'm your host, Christian Rivera, and today I want to talk about why INTPs need safe spaces. Now, you might think of safe spaces as something that is more of a feeler thing. You know, feelers getting together, talking about our emotions, having a safe space for people to talk about how they feel about things. And that's very true. But introverted thinking needs very much a similar thing. And you can call it a safe space, you can call it a private conversation, whatever it is. But introverted thinking needs private conversations with people that they can trust, people who can hold space for them, because it enables the ideas to get out there. It enables you to process these ideas out loud, unfiltered, and be able to get calibration from other people, particularly other TI people who are hearing what you have to say and saying, hey, you know what, that makes sense. What about this? Or what about that? And being able to calibrate and be able to put these ideas into a context, or to even just hear yourself say them out loud, and they morph as you say them out loud. What that means is I could have this perfect script in my head for how this video is going to go. But as soon as I start talking, everything kind of changes. Now I'm improvising. Now I can hear my own voice. I'm considering how my tone sounds. I'm considering how I look on screen. I'm considering all of the sounds in my environment. I'm considering, what this is going to look like when it gets onto YouTube. I'm now considering what the feedback might be as I'm talking. The thing about having a safe space for introverted thinking is you are getting real-time feedback. So in this case, I'm not getting real-time feedback, but my partner, she's fantastic. She's an ENFP, and she holds space for my TI as much as she can. It's not going to be the same as a TI person, but she can hold space for it, and we can have conversations, and I can work through ideas in an unfiltered way where I know she's not going to judge me. And that's the main thing. When you think about safe spaces, again, you think about feelers having to work through these emotional concepts to express themselves in a raw, unfiltered way. And for introverted thinking, it's about doing so in a way that is not going to be met with judgment. It's only going to be met with calibration. It's going to be met with support. And that's what I offer on my channels. Here in the comments is just one thing, but this is still an open space. Social media is an open space. I'm not talking about posting your thoughts on Twitter or a vlog or a blog or any of those logs. And having a space where you can have private conversations. I'm not talking about Reddit either with other INTPs, because they are also playing this social game with each other. It's going to look different than how other people play social games, but INTPs are also still playing social games with each other. And so if you're having a private one-on-one conversation with someone, which is what I try to bring to this channel, is like, I feel like we're having a discussion, you can then work through some of those thoughts. I recently watched the Netflix series. It was like a limited series called Murder Among the Mormons. And I believe the killer turned out to be an INTP. And an INTP who was not able to have his introverted thinking calibrated. And it's not having safe spaces to avoid doing terrible things, though INTPs can get to that place. It's being able to talk with someone and being able to work out some of those ideas. Because if you're just in your own head all the time, you can justify anything. As an INTP with introverted thinking, it's easy to make anything possible. It's easy to make anything justifiable. And if you have someone who you can trust and share all of those unfiltered thoughts with, then they can give you the feedback. It's not to tell you that you're wrong. It's not about judging you. It's not about being reductive or deductive. It's about support. And for introverted thinking, that's a way that you get support. And while I mentioned that safe spaces are typically a feeler thing, or seen as a feeler thing, in essence, we are humans and we have emotions. And that's a satisfactory way of getting those emotional needs met. Our desire to use our introverted thinking in an unfiltered, unjudged way is an emotional need. And I know that may be hard to accept or to understand, but that's just a part of what we experience as INTPs. So to have that space to share with other Either other INTPs or ENTPs are really great because the ENTPs really love to debate and have discussions. I've been having a lot of chats with my friend Antonia Dodge from Personality Hacker, and we are able to process, without the need for filters, because it's easy to notice how we are filtering ourselves in everyday conversations anyway. I know INTPs are, we're known for like not being filtered and all of that stuff. And plenty of INTPs can go about the world completely unfiltered, but there are consequences for that typically. I'm talking about a safe space in which you can do so without the consequences. And the going through that without the consequences kind of gets that out of your system. Getting that out of your system allows you to be a more tolerant, fun, enjoyable, pleasant, lovely person when you're around people who don't need to hear that TI stuff, that introverted thinking stuff. So you can actually be able to expend energy of your other functions, of the other parts of you, the extroverted feeling side of you, the extroverted intuition, playful side of you, if you're able to satisfy that introverted thinking need to work through an idea. And now that doesn't mean that in the safe space, your ideas are going to be validated. To me, that's not what a safe space is. A safe space is a place for you to just process. And the calibration from the other person could lead you to a completely different idea. I can almost guarantee that it'll probably lead you to a completely different idea or a different thought, something you didn't consider, something you didn't think about. Because introverted thinking is your thinking process. It is not an objective thinking process. It is a subjective, logical, personal, data-driven process. And other people, other TI people, have their own subjective, logical, data-driven process. And to compare notes is to create a fuller picture of what it is you're trying to figure out and what it is you're trying to get towards. And that helps you to get there. It may not even be with a TI person. It could be with an FI person. They can hold space in that way as well. Maybe not for all of the exact thoughts, but I know myself, I've had a bit of a kinship with INFPs. We can connect, we can vibe, we can talk about some deeper topics. They'll give me more of the emotional human perspective, and I can give them the more data-driven perspective. And we kind of balance each other out in that way. So when I say a safe space for introverted thinking, I'm not just talking about with other introverted thinkers, because there could be a bias generated there. You could just be talking shit about feelers and, not consider their needs. Where if you have that with an FI person, they can have that banter back and forth with you where you can work out the other side of the coin. Because I think of introverted thinking and introverted feeling as two sides of the same coin. Doing deductive reasoning around data versus deductive reasoning around people and motivations and your relationship to things, right? So that helps round that out. And like I said with my partner, Molly, as an ENFP, she's amazing at giving me that other side. That's why people confuse me as a feeler all the time, because I've had her to help me calibrate that. If you look at some of my old vlogs and videos, which I think I've just taken down from my old channel, so you probably can't see that, you can see how much more just TI, SI focused I was. I was pretty flat. I was not, there's a lot of emotional intelligence missing, right? And, that's because I also have that safe space. I've got my friend Antonia. I've got people I DM and talk to all the time. I've got Molly. I've got this. I've got a YouTube channel where INTPs are basically able to hold space for my thoughts, which I appreciate as well. So having all of those things, having something that's that I'm able to process. It could even be a journal, but typically if you have something that's feedback with another person would be better. Being able to work out those thoughts, get them out there, and just get it out of your body, get it out of your system, very similarly to how an introverted feeler or any feeler would get the emotions out of their body. It's like getting these thoughts out of your head to make space for new things, right? If you're just washing the same stuff over and over again, it's going to get worn, it's going to get torn, and it's going to be useless. So it's getting those ideas out there to get calibration, to get support, for someone to just simply be able to say, that makes sense. Because the frustration that we deal with as an INTP can sometimes be that we're trying to explain things in an introverted thinking way to someone, And all we really kind of want, or at least me, I mean, you could tell me if it's different for you. I want validation that what I'm saying makes sense, right? I don't even care if you agree with me. I just want to know that it makes sense, that you understand what I'm trying to say. And I think many INTPs want that. And not everyone is willing to give that, because a lot of people get distracted by the emotional component, their interpretation of what I'm saying, the semiotics of what they're hearing from what I'm saying, based on their worldview, based on their experiences, based on their life, based on their traumas, based on their emotions. And we can't do anything about that other than try to work out some of the thoughts that we can with people who are willing to accept those thoughts, or people who are willing to calibrate with us, to help us, to support us. And then when we have those conversations, we don't need to rely on that person specifically in front of us to validate us. If they can't accept what I'm saying, or they can't understand what I'm saying, then I'm more able to let it go if I can ascertain that they are not willing and able to accept it. And that doesn't mean I'm calling them stupid, doesn't mean I'm calling them a bad person or wrong or anything like that. It's just simply an awareness, an understanding that they're not ready for the TI stuff, right? They've just got other stuff that they've got to work through. And that means it's my responsibility to go somewhere else, or to find someone else who's willing to have that conversation. So it's a balance, right? It's the safe space of having someone who's willing to listen to you, but also not someone who's going to be an echo chamber for you, who is just repeating back what you're saying, who can actually calibrate, help you build upon ideas, make your thought process better, to maximize your introverted thinking, and to make it so that you're not trying to get that validation everywhere. Because if you're trying to get that validation everywhere, you're going to try to bring introverted thinking to every situation. You're going to try to bring introverted thinking to a party when you're supposed to be smiling and laughing and eating hors d'oeuvres and having a good time and saying, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And instead you're just like, can we talk about numbers? Or can we talk about, I don't understand these people. They don't want to talk about the things that I want to talk about. I don't really get it. Like, I don't know. Why are people smiling? Why are people having fun? What is this? What are we doing? Why is anything? I don't want tacos. I don't want to be here. This is just a waste of my time. I just wanted to. All right. Well, I'm going to insert myself into a conversation and just start talking about what I want to talk about, I guess. And, I guess I just, that's how I make a conversation, right? I'm just going to show up and say, I don't know, start talking about physics or something. I don't know. I don't know. Find spaces so you could talk about that stuff. So you don't have to insert it everywhere else, so that you can bring the right energy to the right situations at the right time and be able to balance yourself a little bit better. So I hope that makes sense. If you're needing some more support, we have plenty of options for you over at DOPEintp.com. That is the new website. That is the new URL, powered by Kajabi, which I'm very happy about. All of the things that I kind of cobbled together with duct tape are now existing in one spot. So there are the courses, there's podcasts, there's articles, there's the email list. All of it is on the one website. So scroll through, figure out what works for you. There's a little bit more of a cleaner option for finding the main quests, the side quests, your skill level, productivity focused stuff. There's relationships focused stuff. There's also profiling and coaching and all sorts of different options. So go ahead, DOPEintp.com, go check that out. And that's it. We also have a Mighty Networks. So if you do join our email list, you will get a link to the Mighty Networks. And that's somewhat of a safe space. If you're looking for one of those safe spaces, that's something where you can come and join us, where there's like probably less than 20 people there right now. And it's kind of a small private place. It's protected by me, and you can kind of work through whatever you got to work through. So with all that said, I appreciate you. Take care of yourself, and be nice to each other. And I'll catch you next time on DOPEamine. See ya.